Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love. I am your host, Amanda, and I am so happy that you have found this podcast. Are you looking for daily inspiration, motivation, and wisdom to help you begin your day feeling supported and uplifted with love? Well, you have come to the right place. This podcast is a space of encouragement where you can be held in your self-development because in order to evolve, you need love, and it begins here with you. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Evolve Love and happy Mercury Day. It is Wednesday, and I really enjoy the Wednesday episodes. I think they are so fun and honestly, so most of the time on point, or they are the exact shift midweek that we need to take from the themes we've started on Monday and see how it then carries us out into the rest of our week. And so I'm so excited for today because I just could not believe how aligned the card was that came for today's episode to everything we were speaking about on Monday and Tuesday. So today I picked a card from the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. This is one of the oldest decks that I have had, and it's a deep one for sure. But I wanted to go with this deck today because the moon is in Libra, and Libra is known for beauty. And I feel with the rose, the concept of the rose, to me, that is just like a very all-time classic symbolism of beauty. So the card, and also too, if you're not following at _evolve love on Instagram, make sure you do, because on Wednesdays, I also share an image of the card that on my stories so that you can see, since I know some of you probably too would love that like visual picture. And there's also a lot of symbolism within the card illustrations, I feel as well, that maybe you'll pick up something in for yourself. And so the card today that we got was Plant Yourself Here. Themes that come with this include integration, embodiment, and grounded action. And when I was reading the guidebook about this card, something that really stuck out to me as a phrase was, "You are a soul having a human experience." This connected everything that we started beginning our week with on Monday about the trees and how a tree can just be there and just is. It never moves. It has planted itself there, right? It is not going anywhere by choice. It is there. And for me, when I was thinking about this, I thought of a piece I had choreographed many years ago that was a play off of the book Be Here Now by Ram Dass. And in it, the piece was called Breathe Here Now. And the dancers, there were two different groups within it. And there was a group of dancers that were frantic, couldn't find grounding, just very like chaotic. And then there was another group of dancers that had an energy of calm, that had an energy of grounding. And so throughout the dance, the calm dancers were trying to encourage the frantic dancers to root, to ground, and to breathe. And this was really an important piece for me because it was set with high school students. And I think about the pressures, the stressors, and everything that happens on a day-to-day basis for that age group. And so I wanted to give them not only a piece that they were performing, but a tool that they could take with them. And so when I think about this card, Plant Yourself Here, the concept of breathe here now really stuck out to me in my mind, because I feel that when we get caught up in the frantic chaos, which can very much happen, when we get caught up in that, we are letting life move us. We are just like going and going and going. We are not seeing the choice that we have. We have the choice whether we are going to take this day in urgency. We have the choice whether we want to go through our day calmly. And it really does begin with us, because no one around you is saying you need to be frantic through this moment. It's just how your body is responding and the instinct that it has. So Plant Yourself Here is the concept that we need to integrate the knowledge of this, to integrate the knowledge of nature that we see all around us, there is no urgency in the flower to bloom. I feel like there is a tea bag with that quote on it somewhere or something like that. Like, nature doesn't hurry. Oh, that is what it is. Oh my gosh, this is on a tea bag. I think it's Lao Tzu. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's like nature doesn't hurry and yet everything gets accomplished, or it's something like that. I'm literally just winging this off the top of my head, but all of these thoughts are coming up to this because what we are looking at around us is a huge lesson for ourselves in presence, ourselves in stillness. And with this whole concept, it's really like, are we going to let life pass us by, or are we going to be in the driver's seat? So are you a passenger or are you a driver? And with it too, like, are you able to say to yourself, no, I am rushing too much around in today, or no, I do not like this feeling that I'm feeling. Can we sit with it and change it versus ignoring it, suppressing it, pushing it down, or just continuing on a frantic energy path that really isn't serving you? And sometimes there are circumstances outside of our control, such as like an appointment time. You have to be somewhere at a certain time, and maybe you really do need to rush yourself out the door. But can you remind yourself in that moment that you are going at the pace that is going to get you to where you need to be in that given day, in that given moment? And I really do think that we forget when we get into these feelings that like we have the autonomy, we have the ability to say, stop right now, okay? Because no one is telling you to move faster except for yourself. And can we take that deep breath? Can we breathe here now? Can we plant ourselves here? Can we integrate all the lessons of nature that we see around us? Can we take grounded action? Can we embody all that it is that we talk about? Like, another example of this too is, like I say to my dancers, you can do as much core exercises as you want. You could do 150 sit-ups. You could do this and that. You could hold a plank for 2 minutes, but none of it is going to help in your dancing unless you apply what you were just practicing. So like, you are engaging your core, you're doing all this work, but if you just do it then and you don't do it in your actual dancing, there is a complete disconnect. So this is that embodiment of the work. If you spend your morning meditating, journaling, having these beautiful moments, and then you go into life and it's like you forget the practice and you just go about, which of course is human and like totally understandable, of course. It's just a reminder to yourself, like, you can bring that energy with you into your day, but it's you that decides that. So really thinking about this today, and along with this card coming up, it reminded me of some quotes that I love and that have really sparked an idea for myself or a lesson for myself in life. And one of them is by Scott O'Neill, be where your feet are. So plant yourself here, be where your feet are. Okay. And another one too by John Kabat-Zinn is, wherever you go, there you are. And I think with that one, what I love about it is it does kind of have a moment of traveling. Like, you're going somewhere, but when you get there, there you are. Even within the traveling, you are there in the traveling. So trying not to get ahead of ourselves is something that we talked about in yesterday's sensory experiences, that so often we're living ahead. We're living in like, what's going to happen in the next hour, what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, that we are missing the moment that we are actually having because we're thinking about that. And I know for sure I do this all the time, because it's like I'm looking at my schedule and I know that in a couple hours I have to go here, or like the laundry has to be flipped and switched around when the buzzer goes off, and like all this stuff. So it's like reminding ourselves of where we can carry presence and where we can carry stillness, and plant yourself here is like definitely the theme of the week. So I don't think we could have picked a better card for today's episode. And before we go, since Mercury is our journaling day, I'm going to leave you with some journaling prompts that you can take with you, and also an action today, which is interesting because usually we do our action on Tuesday, but I felt really called to share this particular action today on Wednesday. And I'm going to put this in the show notes as well so that you can always refer back to it. But our first journal prompt today is, how can I practice presence throughout my day? Okay, so we're not just going to be present in the morning when we do our meditation and our journaling. Where can we pull that presence and that focus into other parts of our day? At work, at school, driving, going different places. Okay, journal prompt number 2. Where can I invite more stillness in my day? Where can I invite more stillness in my day? Can you create a pocket of time where there is no expectation? I think this is really important for us to do because this does not happen very often. Even in meditation, you are doing something. Can you just create a pocket of time where there is nothing, where there is quiet, where there is stillness? And I know that's not an easy one to achieve. So if we can do it, even just making a short little bit of it. And now the action item that kind of goes along with that second journal prompt is we're going to do a 2 to 5 minute stare off. Okay. So this is going along with that like pocket of stillness that we have. A 2 to 5 minute stare off. There's nothing that we are doing other than just sitting, being, and looking ahead. And not in our thoughts of like, what are we doing in the next hour? Just like looking straight ahead of you. And I want you to notice, where does discomfort arise? How does it come up for you, and why? Or why do you think it comes up? So where does discomfort arise? How does it arise for you, and why? So within that action item, as you're doing your stare off and you set your timer for however long, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, okay? What comes up for you? How often do you look at your timer to see like how much more time is left? Or are you really present within that stillness? I hope today really helps with finding presence, but also too is a different mindset shift for how we look at things throughout our day. So I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope that this presence and stillness brings more beauty into your day and into your life, and it can be something that we can practice outside of Wednesday. This could be something that we take with us through the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of our life. And so I want to thank you all again so much for listening and for your supports of Evolve Love podcast. If you feel called to rate or review the podcast, that helps us to be seen by others who may be looking for this content. And don't forget to hit the follow button. So important, because then you'll get notifications of when new episodes air. And I am just so grateful to you all for being in this space. So we'll check back tomorrow on Thursday.